Hello, everybody. Today we're going to go over a few tips and tricks for new employees to the VA so you can get the access that you need, some software if you need it, how to report an incident, how to get into Citrix, and a few other things here. So, first, what we're going to go over is this tip for getting a PIV exemption. When you first get to the VA, you might not be able to get your PIV card right away. It does take a little bit. You have about 48 hours for that to fully process and be able to get your PIV. So, what you'll want is to call the Enterprise Service Desk. You got the number 402 995 4357. There is also a second number nationwide of the 855 673 4357. So, what we'll do first here is call them up. You're going to press 1 for your account or password reset, and then you'll press 1 again for VA. A little bit of information that you'll need is your Active Directory account. This will be, depending on the location that you are, VHA OMA, VHA LIN, or VHA GRI for Omaha, Lincoln, and Grand Island. That will be, so VHA OMA, the first 5 letters of your last name, and then your first initial. For people who have common names, you'll likely have a 1 or some other number, depending on where you fall and how many people have come before you with the same name. Email address will be the same way. It'll be your first dot last. If it's a common name, say John Smith, you're likely going to have a number behind it. So johnsmith2 at va.gov. Temporary password is something that the help desk will give you, and you'll have to reset that while you're on the call with them. We do have a little script here where you say, depending on what you are, I am a new employee attending CPRS training this morning. My PIV card has not been processed, and I need a 2-week exemption to attend training. I am sitting in front of a VA computer and ready to sign on to the system. So with that, the help desk might verify a little bit more information, but they'll get you that temporary password. You'll type it in, it'll let you know that you have to change your password, and then you should be good to go getting in there. Next thing that we'll cover is to submit a OIT ticket. The common thing that you'll have to submit is going to be report an issue. I'll show you how to get here. On your desktop, you will have a OIT icon. If you double click that, it'll open up in Edge, but you can also open it up in Google Chrome if you need to. Mine has a little bit different view because I am an IT technician and I get to see all the tickets coming through. This is the view that you'll see. If you have any tickets open, or if they've recently been resolved, you'll see them listed here. But the main thing that you'll want to do is this report an issue button. This will take you to a new tab. It'll take a little while to log you in. And then once it loads, it'll come up with a fair few fields. It'll come up with normal issue or Veterans Benefits Management System. Typically, you'll go with a normal issue. And here's where they'll come up with all of the fields that you need. It'll auto-populate your name, auto-populate where you're located. The building number, if you're in the main building, will be 1, and then your room number should be posted right outside the door. Preferred contact method, and then phone number. The red asterisk is a required field. Here you can set your urgency. Default is medium. If it is an emergency, we do have critical, we have high, and then if it's really anything that we can put as the lowest priority, we got a 4 as a low. Category. Most of the stuff will probably be either software or hardware. So if a piece of software like CPRS isn't working correctly, you can put in a software request and desktop application. If a computer is running a little bit slow, you'll want to do hardware, desktop, laptop. If you have a mobile phone or if there's a printer in your office, you got that as an option. And then all the rest of the stuff, you just have to fill out as needed. Initiative, probably going to stay none. Brief description, put just a brief little thing of what's going on. Detailed description, be as precise as you possibly can. That'll help us down in IT troubleshoot your issue quicker. The EE number and or host name of the affected system. Easiest way to get that, you can look at the computer or the laptop itself, and there will be a sticker that will likely have an MX number, not an EE. We just need the numbers after the MX. If it is EE, same thing applies. The other thing you can do is there's this IBM or BG info, apologies, that you can click on. It'll pop up and it'll give you your host name. You can type that in there and it'll allow us to check your computer out if it's having some problems and better reach you in case we need to. Another way that you could, another thing that you might need to put in is going to be a service request. So you want to do submit a request. This will likely be for something like software, or if you're having any problems with your account, you want to modify your name, you can do so. Real quick, IT software or hardware request. In here, it'll ask you basically the same fields. Location, employee type, so employee, trainee, additional equipment if it's new, replacement if you're replacing a laptop or a desktop. Install date, you can put a future date, you can put the date that you put the ticket in, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. If you do software, it'll ask you for the name of the software. Again, it'll ask you for the EE or the host name, and it'll ask you to provide your justification. Most of these requests will probably be put in by your ad pack, but knowing how to do it is a good tool. So we'll go ahead and get out of there. Next thing we'll go over is getting into the Citrix desktop and getting into CPRS via that. So we'll want to open up Edge or Chrome, and then this has to be done via a VA computer. To request access, you'll get to this ramp.vansock.va.gov, go into the self-service portal, request access. If you're going to be teleworking, you can request either rescue if you have a laptop, or if you click non-VA device, you'll have the option to do CAG access, which is Citrix. While you are on a VA computer, you should automatically have access to Citrix, which is the link right here we'll go to. This currently opens up in Internet Explorer, but since Internet Explorer is going away, it will eventually open up in just Edge. So we'll go ahead, it'll prompt you for a certificate, which will be on your PIV card. Prompt you for your PIN. And then once it loads, you'll see your home screen. You might have some stuff already listed, or you can go to the Desktops tab. You want one VA Clinical South, and you can either click on the monitor or click on the down arrow, then click Open. You'll see it pop up here. You can keep it in the windowed mode, so you can click out of it and go back to any other applications that you may need. Or, once it fully loads, you can maximize it. It'll take up the whole screen. You can drag and drop it so it even will be open on multiple screens. When you're in full screen, you can click on the little down arrow to get all your options, and if you click on home, it'll bring you back to whatever your primary desktop was. Will take just a little bit to load. Some days it'll be better, some days it'll be worse. That's just how the network kind of fluctuates around the VA. While that's loading, we will go, of course, as soon as I say something, it wants to pop up. So, within here, you want the VAX site selector. See it loaded a little bit late, it's the gold star. You want the second drop down where it has VISN 23, and you want to select Omaha. Here it will bring us to our gold star, which should also be on your regular desktop if you're using a VA computer. And then within here, you'll have CPRS, if you need to get into Vista, EDIS for the ER. There's also some NWI shortcuts specific to our locations. Pixis, which is for pharmacy primarily. Bed management system if you're on one of the wings that has inpatients. EDIS again for specifically NWI. Infinity. You can get to the home page and the telephone directory if you need to call anybody. And that's about it that you'll need here on Vista to be, or Citrix to be able to get into Vista, CPRS, and then any of these applications with NWI shortcuts that you need to get to. When you need to disconnect, go up to the little icon with the person, sign out. That'll automatically close the window, bring you right back to the Citrix storefront. Next thing that we'll go over is the Software Center. With the service requests for software, we typically add you to a group that will allow you to install the software via the Software Center. For that, you can just click on the Start menu or the magnifying glass right next to it and start typing software. It should be the first thing that pops up for you. You can either hit Enter or click on it. It'll load what's available to you. Some things will be available for everybody. Some things will only be available once you request them. One of those things that's only available after you request is Adobe Acrobat Pro, which will show up as Adobe Acrobat DC. I have it saying that I need to install, but I do have it already installed on my computer. From here, you can just click on Applications if you need to go back and install any of these that are available to you. All right. Software Center done. Let's see what else we may need to go through. Clearing PIV certificates. So, to clear your PIV certificates, you'll want to get into Microsoft Edge, go up here to the little ellipses, get into Settings. Over on the left, Privacy, Search, and Services. And then you want to scroll down a little bit to get here to Manage Certificates. Once you click on that, it'll pop up another window. And in here, you can select anything that has a normal name. So keep the Department of Veterans Affairs, but say Eric J. Plemmel. That's me. If this was somebody else's computer, they could go in here, select all of them, and then click on Remove. And that'll clear out the certs for that person. The reason you do this is because some computers get shared and then certificates build up. So when you're trying to log into CPRS or Vista, it'll prompt you for a PIV certificate, and it might pop up for somebody else's name. That is about it for what we need to go over. Feel free to reach out. Like I said, my name is Eric Plemmel. I'm an IT specialist here in Omaha, VA. Reach out, especially if you have a ticket number. We'll get that going, and hopefully everything goes smoothly when you get hired on. Thanks.